Hi, welcome to Auntie Nat's Crochet. Today I'm going to make a rectangle shawl, one with kind of big holes. When you use it, it won't be so hot. So I'm going to use a 3.5 mm hook, and I'm also going to use cotton yarn. If you have those multicolor yarn, it will be better, but this time round I choose just plain pink. Okay, and we shall start by making a foundation chain. So foundation chain, it should be around 20 stitches plus 2. What I mean is in the multiple of 20 if possible. So a shawl, rectangle shawl, it's best that you make the foundation chain and fit it on yourself and see whether you can actually wrap it around you. If you can't, then you should make it longer. So the foundation chain is really all up to you, how long you want the shawl to be. So I'll come back to you once I measure how long should my foundation chain be, and it should be in a multiple of 10 or 20. I mean, it's in even number. And on top of that, you're gonna add 2 more stitches. Okay, so I'll come back to you once I get my foundation chain right. Okay, I've chained 300. This is a 5 ply cotton yarn. You're using chunky yarn or a different diameter of yarn. Maybe your yarn is thicker, 8 ply or 10 ply, then you might need to do less chain. So mine, I'm doing 300 chain. So up to you. It's best that I'm doing the length and work upwards, not the width, the length and work upwards. So after you chain, you just wrap it around yourself and see if this is the correct length, the right length for you. So mine, I want it to be chain 300. Then after chain 300, I'm gonna add 2 more. Okay, after you add 2 more, you go to the third chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. The third chain from the hook, I'm gonna do double crochet. On the third chain from the hook onwards, I'm gonna do double crochet all the way. Okay, I'll come back to you once I'm at the end of the row. Okay, once I am at the end of the row, make sure you count your stitches. If you have, like me, I have 300 stitches in the foundation chain, and I should have 300 double crochet as well. So now at the end of the row, I'm gonna chain 2, turn the work, and again you do double crochet all around. You just do double crochet right above the double crochet. Just double crochet until the end of the row, and you make sure the number of stitches you have should be the same as your foundation chain. So I'll come back to you once I'm at the end of the row. Okay, this is how it looked like so far. 2 rows of double crochet, and I've counted the stitches. The second row, I do have 300 double crochet because I started with 300 stitches on my foundation chain. And now for the third row, I'm going to chain 7. Okay, chain 7. I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to I'm going to do a triple crochet. Means you yarn over twice on your hook and do a triple or treble crochet on the same stitch. You yarn over 2, yarn over 2, and yarn over 2. Okay, then after this you chain 3, chain 3, you're going to skip 4. 1 2 3 4. On the 5th one, we're going to do a slip stitch on the 5th chain, and we're going to chain 3 again. 1 2 3, and we're going to skip 4. 1 2 3 4. So on the 5th one, we're going to do a treble. Means you yarn over twice, and then you put through 2, put through 2, and the space between the treble is 5 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 5 stitches. You yarn over twice, then you do a treble on the same stitch. And you're going to repeat this until the end of the row. Okay, this is how it looked like so far. Okay, let me show you. This is how it looked like. Okay, so now I've come to the end of the row. I did a chain 3, and I'm supposed to do a treble. 1 2 3 4, and on the last one I'm going to do a treble. So this time, instead of chain 5, because it's just half of this petal here, so instead of chain 5, we're going to chain 2 and do another treble on the same stitch. So this is how we end it, because this looks exactly like the first part. First part look like this too. Okay, so now we are going to chain 7. I'm gonna chain 7, 2 4 6 7. We're gonna turn our work. Okay, and we are going to triple crochet or treble crochet on this slip stitch, the part where we slip stitch. Sorry, this is the first one. First one, we should do a treble on the first stitch itself. The first stitch that we, our very first stitch of that chain 7, we do a treble crochet. So after this, we're going to chain 5. Okay, here we chain 7, then we treble on the first stitch of the chain, and now we're going to do treble on this. This is like a half petal of the flower. This is a flower actually. So here, this slip stitch part, we're going to do a treble here. So every slip stitch that we did are the 2 treble, the space for the treble. I think I yarn over twice. I didn't yarn over twice. So you go to the slip stitch part here, you do a treble, so after the treble you chain 5, because that is the chain space for the treble, the 2 treble that is together. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, and you treble again on the same slip stitch, the slip stitch we did in the previous row, and you yarn over 2 and 2 and 2. And now we're gonna chain 3, 1 2 3. So now chain 3. You see there's a chain 5 here between the two treble. We go to the third chain, the middle one. Instead of going through here, it will look much better if you go to the third chain, inside the third chain, and do your slip stitch. So after the slip stitch, chain 3 again, and do the treble onto the part where we slip stitch in the previous row. And like the previous row, the previous pattern, every treble, your chain space is 5 chain. 1 2 3 4 5. So 1 2 3 4 5, we do a treble right into that slip stitch part, and you repeat this until the end of the row. I'll come back to you and show you how we will end it at the end of the row. So this is how we're gonna look like. So just remember, every treble is on the slip stitch part, and the space chain between treble is always chain 5, and the chain between these two is chain 3, slip stitch to the third, and chain 3, and you continue until the end of the row. Okay, so this is how it looked like so far. So I've come to the end of the row. I just did 2 treble crochet here, so now chain 3, so I should go to the 4th one, the 4th stitch, and do a slip stitch, because by right you should slip stitch onto this part. And every time you start, you should start with a chain 7. Okay, you start with a chain 7, you turn your work, and you take a look and see where you are now. If you are at this point here, okay, you see here we're supposed to do a treble crochet on the slip stitch part. So this is the slip stitch part. I think most of the time people would miss out this part. They'll go straight to the second petal. By right here you should have 1 2, because this is where we slip stitch. So the part where we slip stitch, by right you should have 2 treble with a chain 5. Okay, so now you just continue chain 3. In the middle of this treble there's this chain 5 chain 5 space. You go to the 3rd one and do a slip stitch. So you're gonna look like this, and you're gonna continue until the length that you want. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. So this is how the other edge look like. So now I've come to the end of the row. I have the length or the width that I want. Okay, you just measure and see how wide you want it to be. I do not want it to be too wide, just a short shawl. Okay, not that long. So this is my last stitch. So chain 3 and I slip stitch to the chain 7 here on the 4th stitch. Now I chain 2, turn my work, okay, in this space here we're going to do double crochet, 2 double crochet, every time you see a chain 3 space you do 2 double crochet. When you see a triple crochet here, do one double crochet on top of the triple crochet, and the chain 5 here we do 3 double crochet, so once you see this tribal we do another double crochet on top of the tribal. On this chain 3 space we do 2 double crochet, on this slip stitch part we do 1 double crochet, on the chain 3 part we're going to do 2 double crochet. So you're going to continue until the end of the row, and you should have the same number of stitches, the same number of double crochet like when we started on the first stitch at the bottom. Okay, so I started with chain 300, so I should have 300 double crochet. So now I should have 300 double crochet as well. So here every time you see a chain 3 you do 2 double crochet. You see a tribal, you do 1 double crochet on top of the tribal. You see a chain 3, you do 3 double crochet. You see a tribal, you do 1 double crochet. You see a chain 3, you do a 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet on the slip stitch part here, and 2 double crochet. So here with the tribal, 1 double crochet, chain 5 space, there'll be 3 double crochet, and 1 on top of the tribal crochet. Then when you see a chain 3 space you do a 2 double crochet. Oops. You continue in the same manner until the end of the row, and you count your stitches. You make sure you have the same number of stitches as when you started. Okay, I have the same number of stitches I counted, and I need to do 2 more last single crochet, double crochet in the last chain 7 here. So after this I'm gonna chain 2, turn my work, and I'm gonna do double crochet in every single stitch. Just every single stitch you do a double crochet all around, and of course you're gonna get the same number of stitches. Okay, now I'm at the end of the row. I've done 2 rows of double crochet. Now I'm gonna chain 1, turn the work, and do single crochet all around. Every single stitch you just do a single crochet, and make sure you count your number of stitches every row. I mean this 2 row. Check your stitches before it's too late. So here you just do single crochet until the end, and I'll come back to you for the final part. Okay, I've come to the end here with the single crochet. So I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work, go to the first stitch and do a slip stitch. So here I'm gonna chain 6, and I'm gonna slip stitch into the same stitch, and again chain 6, and slip stitch into the same stitch, and one last time, chain 6, and slip stitch into the same stitch. So you're gonna get a little flower here at this corner. So after this, I'm gonna slip stitch into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should have 4 stitches gap between flowers, and on the 5th one I'm gonna make another flower. So the same thing, chain 6, slip stitch, and again chain 6, and slip stitch, and chain 6, and slip stitch, and gonna slip stitch in the next 5 stitches. So on the 5th one, again we're gonna do the little flowers again. So because mine I have 300 stitches, so that's why my gap is 4 here, because 5 is a multiple of 5, so it's just nice for 300. So this is a flower here, there's a 4 slip stitch gap here, and then the 5th one, that's a flower. So that's 4, and that's a flower. So depending on how many stitches you're gonna have here, and you just space it around. But I think with the gap of 4 or 5, it should be nice. So you do the same to the other edge, the other side. This is what I did on the other side. So this is how it looked like. Isn't that lovely? All the tiny flowers. This is the edge, and this is the middle part on how it looked like. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like this pattern. And thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.